Oh, we live. We are live. If you thought Shadowbammed was over, you're wrong. I wonder if my mic and everything is right. Okay. Okay. Um. Oh, let me post on Twitter that we are live, and then we will get it cracking in a few minutes. Just so you know, I do wait about 3 minutes. Excuse me, just in case anybody wants to hop in. Um, Usually they don't. Well, no, sometimes I have some people in the chat, but just in case anybody wants to hop in the on the stream yard, because I do put the StreamYard link in the chat. Okay. Today we're going to talk a little bit about this is the Women's History Month edition. What is going on with Discord? Yeah, this is the Women's History Month edition. We had the Black History Month edition. Was that the last time? I think it was, right? Was it the last one, the Black History Month edition? Let's see. No, it was the one from the one before that. But yeah, we're gonna have the Women's History Month edition, and I'm gonna talk about some things. I'm gonna talk about well, I'm gonna talk about we're gonna talk about I'm sorry, geez, some women that inspired me in football, and then we'll talk a little bit about Mbappe situation with PSG right now, and Luis Enrique being a certified cap master. I guess doing the episode with a cough drop isn't that smart. I don't know why. Like every morning I wake up, I feel like my throat is like a little sore. I wonder if it's. I don't know why. I need to change the filters. That's what it is. Anyway, let's get it cracking. Shadowbammed episode 21. We made a podcast umbrella. We made a podcast did not die. If you thought it did, you're wrong. 7 years in the making. This May will be 7 years we made a podcast. Unbelievable. But as of right now, we're doing Shadowbammed live on YouTube. But yeah, this it's Women's History Month. You know what I mean? March. You know, and I was like, damn, I want to do a Women's History Month edition. And I don't know what it's going to sound like to people, but I started watching soccer in 2014. Like when was the World Cup? In like June? I think I started watching soccer in like March or like April 2014. I can't remember. Let's say March. It was definitely before the World Cup. Because there was still a lot I didn't understand by the time the World Cup came around. But like as far as like international stuff, but I'd already like loved Cavani by then. Because I was watching the French league and like MLS basically. But yeah, I started watching soccer around then, and usually like the basically the number one network for soccer at that time was BN. BN was like the only network that was like dedicated to soccer. Um, and I feel and for me, like they used to have the shows. They used to have I think it was called the Express, which was a daily show, maybe I can't really remember. And then they had the locker room on Fridays. Maybe it was Friday and Monday back then. Um, honestly I can't remember, but I think they had like a daily show, and then the locker room, and they used to have Bobo Vieri and damn, did I forget these people's names? Ray. Um, I forgot these fools' names, but the person that stood out to me the most in those times for her like ability to be a host, but really her like football knowledge and experience was Kay Murray. And honest, like back then I used to be like, dude, like, why isn't Kay Murray an analyst? Why is she always the host? Like she would be like sitting at the head of the table facilitating the conversations. And I'm like, why don't she be like one of the analysts? Like, it would be funny. Sometimes they would talk about like, because she used to work, she had worked previously at Real Madrid TV. And sometimes they would like, things would come up about Spain or Real Madrid or like just like Spain in general. And she would drop like so much information bars about like stuff about Spain, like these guys did not know. And it will be so dope, but she like rarely got a chance to shine like that. You could tell like she watched the games, she knew what she was talking about. She's like a real professional. Whereas like a lot of these guys, like they just like didn't really care that much, which ended up leading up to us starting We Made It podcast because we realized like how little these pundits watched the matches and like cared about the matches. Do I smell like this fool's vape? Um, but watching her, I was like, wow, like this is really crazy that she's like relegated to this role as like the host for these shows, and she's more knowledgeable than these guys. That was like my first experience with sexism in football, because I was just like, this isn't fair. Because sometimes they would have Drake Cordero be the host for the locker room, or George Metellus. Sometimes he would be the host, I think. Like every once in a while, he would be the host. And I'm like, well, when they're hosting, why can't Kay be one of the analysts or pundits or whatever? Like she can talk about it just as much as these guys. Just because she never played professionally before, like who cares? Like Bobo Vieri never knew what the hell he was talking about on there. He did not watch football. He could talk about like his experience, and sometimes he had some good things to say in regards to that. But like he was not somebody that's like watching the games for real. He just had like a personality. And yeah, that was like my first, like she was like somebody I was like, wow, like this is like a true professional in football media, and like somebody to really actually look up to, because these pundits are fugazi. But she was like the standout to me. Um, Now she's at like ESPN and stuff, and she's still like hosting the shows there. I don't know like how much she cares now, but um, I used to like write in and be like, how come like y'all don't have KB and analysts? I don't know if they ever saw that stuff, but whatever. Um, we used to write in a lot actually and be like, how come you don't have like women calling the game sometimes and things like that? Like eventually they did start doing that stuff. And I'm taking credit for it. But another thing that one of the other things that inspired me in women's football, definitely watching the 2019 Women's World Cup. Um, Probably the World Cup I watched the most games from, men and women, honestly, because most of the time the World Cup's kind of boring. But I was really into that one. And I think I watched the final. Okay, you know what? Let me look back at that 2019 World Cup because I feel like that one was in Canada. Is it two? Okay, was it 2019? Um, Jesus. Um, let me see. Was that one in Canada, the 2019 Women's World Cup, or was it in France? No, it was in France. Okay. Um, or was it the 2015 Women's World Cup? Okay, where was the 2015 Women's World Cup? Hold on, guys. Let me see. 2015 Women's World Cup was in Canada. Right. It was a 2015 Women's World Cup. That's the one where, I mean, granted, it's so long ago now, but I feel like maybe it wasn't that one where Megan Rapinoe was balling out like crazy. I think she was balling out in the 2019 one that I remember. But let's just say those two World Cups, geez. Those two Women's World Cups, like, and other matches in between there, like, I just really saw how much better the U.S. women's national team was than the U.S. men's national team. Definitely, like, it was a process because 2014 Men's World Cup, like, people try to act like they did so good or whatever. I think they won one match. Then 2015 Women's World Cup, U.S. Women's National Team wins it. Then we're leading up to the 2018 World Cup. Men don't even make it to the Russia World Cup. They lose to like Trinidad and they don't even make it. And then the 2019 Women's World Cup in France, they win it and like ball out ridiculous. And just like over that time span, you just saw how much better the women were than the men. And we made a podcast in 2017. So like literally in 2017, within like the first 10 episodes or something like that in 2017, we're saying that because they're starting to have that like fight for equal pay. I want to say like it kind of started in like Norway, I want to say like Anna Hedberg. But they're talking about like the equal pay thing, and me and Caesar are like, no, like they should get paid more than the men. Like, look how good they are. There was one center back. I can't remember her name. I don't know if it was Sauerbrunn or something like that. it was somebody, she was a center back, and I'm just like, look how good she is. Like, she's ridiculous. And these fools are trying to talk to me about Matt Beasler for the men's national team and Omar Gonzalez or some shit. Like, this woman is ridiculous, and she's a center back. It was either her or she's a midfielder. I can't remember who it was. I was just like, this person has like literally skills. Like she could play like a central midfield role, and she's playing center back, but she has the skills of a midfielder. Matt Beasler and Omar Gonzalez and whoever else is playing center back for the United States, these fools suck. Like they're bad. Like they're playing center back because they are bad. And you're trying to tell me that they should get paid more? Like definitely watching those two women's World Cup. Well, actually, it was just really one, and then like matches in between there. I'm sure there was another tournament. I can't really remember now, but between 2015 and 2017, I don't know what else the women's national team like. What I don't know. Obviously, they won the World Cup. I don't know what else they like won. If there was a tournament or the She Believes Cup or whatever. But definitely saw them play a bunch of times in between that. And I was just like, this ain't even fair. Like, there was nobody in that time, there was nobody on the men's national team that had the skills that Megan Rapinoe had. Like, nobody. Like, Megan Rapinoe, the 2019 World Cup, she's scoring with her left foot, right foot, sending in crosses with her left foot, right foot, step overs on people. Like, she's ridiculous. And she's like already in her 30s, I think. Like, these fools are trying to tell me about Christian Pulisic, who barely even plays. They were trying to tell us about how good the team was in 2018, and 2017. These fools didn't even make it to the World Cup off of Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, I guess I don't have to compare them, but like, definitely, those are like the one. Kay Murray at BN definitely inspired me when it comes to like the media space more than anybody that I watched in football media. We didn't get inspired to do We Made It podcast from like anybody else. Like, we didn't have a blueprint or like, oh, they're doing this, let's do it. Like, no, like, we saw the professionals and we were like, we want to start a podcast. But the person that I could look at that was like good and a professional and like, had research and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if she's doing her own research or the people behind the scenes are doing it, producers or whatever, but like, just the person that looked professional was Kay Murray. Like, nobody else felt like that for me. And let me just say this actually, because I remember back then, like, Drake Cordero was like decent. Like, he's definitely professional. But then I remember he said that Paulo Dybala is the best player in Serie A. And I was just like, what? Like, or like the most talented player in Serie A. And this was like, what, 2000, I don't know, 18 or something like that. And I was just like, or was it him or was it the other guy, Benetti? I think it was Drake Cordero. And I was just like, see, like, this is why I can't trust you fools. You guys don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I'm like, Cuadrado is still in Serie A. Like, he's miles better than Paulo Dybala, dude. Like, are you kidding me? But yeah, Kay Murray, and then like not even like a single woman necessarily in U.S. U.S. women's national team. Although I really loved Megan Rapinoe a lot, not just for on the field but off the field. She was definitely like, she was part of the inspiration for us doing our first bonus episode. Like, I like delving into politics on We Made a Podcast. It was our 10th episode, and I think it was like around the time Trump called the players, if they kneel, sons of bitches or something like that. And we put, our cover photo was a picture of Megan Rapinoe kneeling by herself with the women's national team. None of them black players kneeled with her. Crystal Dunn and whoever else. Literally, Megan Rapinoe kneeled by herself, the blackest player in women's national team history. Megan Rapinoe. Black on the inside. Black from a revolutionary sense, like Black Power. But yeah, definitely Megan Rapinoe like was a pioneer when it came to like being an activist in the women's national team. She was like, I'm sorry, like, she was doing it first. I remember back, Hope Solo was talking about like some good things back then. I don't know what happened to her now, but like, she was talking about some good things back then too, when she was like running for a USSF president and stuff like that. Like, she did talk about like money and equal pay and like the aesthetic in the women's national team, and like how, or just not women's national team, but like women's soccer, like at the higher levels, and the class divisions. Like Hope Solo did talk about that, and that was good. But Megan Rapinoe was out there kneeling and like became an enemy to the right, all by herself. There's a reason why, she became the person that the right wing was attacking. And it wasn't, and I'm sorry, it wasn't none of them black players on the U.S. women's national team. I think they have stuff to say about like things personally, and maybe they had some more to say after 2020. But Megan Rapinoe was doing that stuff in at the very least when I seen it was like 2017. But maybe it was before that too. But not just her as far as inspiration, like the women's national, like as far as football, the U.S. women's national team as a whole, because they're just ballers and they've always been. I haven't really been paying that much attention to women's football lately because I just half the time I don't catch the games, but and the Women's World Cup was in Australia and I couldn't really watch it for real. The timing was insane, but yeah, hopefully I don't know when where's the next Women's World Cup because um what was 2023, so 2027. um where the hell is it going to be at? Because can it be somewhere where I can actually watch it? um oh, they still don't know yet. Interesting. Okay, well, we will see. But yeah, also wanted to talk real quick about Luis Enrique, PSG, Kylian Mbappe, what's going on there. The situation is dead funny because the last two league matches, Luis Enrique has subbed Mbappe out. Uh, it's really funny because the match against Rennes, they drew 1-1, and uh, he subbed Mbappe out in the 65th minute. And after the match, he said, "We have to get used to not playing with Kylian. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. When I consider it appropriate, he will play or not play, as all coaches do with their players. I want maximum competitiveness for next season. Um, I want every starting player in this PSG team to think this is a great opportunity. That's what I'm looking for this season. That's what I'm looking for this season and next season." Really, really funny business going on there. Doggy. It was February when that match happened. It's March. Why are you talking about next season? You're still in Champions League. You had already played had they played Real Sociedad the first time yet at that point? I think they did. They had already beat Real Sociedad at home. Or away. I don't remember. But like you're playing Real Sociedad, like you're gonna win. And you're like winning the league. What are you talking about next season for? And you're cap, dude, because you're gonna take off Mbappe. Like it don't matter in the league. Like you're gonna take off Mbappe in the league matches when it doesn't matter. When it came to the next Real Sociedad match yesterday, Mbappe played the whole match. When they were up 2-0, he continued playing. Because you know why? Because he wasn't going to take Mbappe out because Mbappe can get a hat trick. That's why. Like, you're lying, dude. Like, stop it. Like, you're not that powerful and you're not that tough. Mbappe is the best player on the team. You're literally playing Mbappe as a center forward, and you're leaving two center forwards on the bench. Two. $120 million euros of center forward are being left on the bench so Mbappe can play center forward. Randall Colomwani came in and Mbappe stayed on the pitch. So stop it, dude. Like, you're not that guy. You're taking Mbappe off. I don't know if you're trying to flex him, but it don't even matter. He already is the leading goal scorer for PSG, but you're not going to take him off for Champions League. And you could have proved it yesterday when it's 2-0, when y'all are up 2-0 against Real Sociedad, who's like you're gonna beat. You could have easily been like in the 60th minute or something like that, or 70th minute, been like, okay, like Mbappe's coming off. But you didn't. And all because Mbappe could have scored a hat trick. So stop it. You're lying. You need Mbappe. And talking about next season when it's literally like this season is still like you're in the throes of this season. Like, stop it, dude. It's really ridiculous. Um I feel like Mbappe announcing he's leaving, like, that's not a bad thing, dude. Like, you're leaving, dude. Like, stop. Like, you're leaving. You already said you wanted to leave publicly. Like, I think it was 2021. He's already said that I wanted to leave. Him saying he's leaving now is a good thing. Because, yeah, the players can get it on their head, like, I can perform and get my place for next season. But the coach talking about, like, well, I'm going to have to leave him off because we got to prepare for next season. No, you don't. That's for the players to do. And if you're playing him as a center forward, you're not preparing the team for next season because you're sitting 2 center forwards on the bench, homie. So you're Cap and you're Fugazi. And you always kind of been Fugazi too. I never really liked Luis Enrique because I'm always looking at this fool sideways because how come you never called up Iñaki Williams, doggy? How come you never called up Iñaki Williams? There was a time, dog, he's calling up Iago Aspas and Morata, and I'm like, you got Iñaki Williams right there. This fool's played like 8 million matches in a row. He's the fastest player. He's the strongest player. He's can play multiple positions in the front three or whatever. He's performed in the Spain under 21s or whatever. How come he can't get a call up? Now you got to go play for Ghana, and then you call up his. Well, I guess I don't know if he called up his brother or not, but I don't know. Maybe somebody else called up his brother, but I don't know when he quit Spain. But I never really liked Luis Enrique. And I feel like he's like very like Barca centric for some reason. Like I feel like he would only call up Barca players when he was a Spain national team. That's why I never did shit. I mean, he wouldn't only call up Barca players, obviously, but like Spain's been kind of whack for a while, even having good players. But I feel like they could have been a lot better if he called up Iñaki Williams, but he just never did. We'll see what happens with this PSG team. All the big teams got easy matchups for the round of 16 in Champions League. Let me look at it again one more time. Yeah, Bayern got Lazio, PSG got Real Sociedad, Real Madrid got Leipzig, which isn't easy necessarily, but Leipzig hasn't been doing that great this season. Man City got Copenhagen, Arsenal got Porto and they lost. Barca got Napoli, who sucks this season. They drew. Athletic got Inter. Like, I guess but like between Athletic and Inter, like it don't really matter who goes. You know what I mean? And then there was Dortmund PSV. But so PSG is definitely, I don't say definitely. They're probably going to get a hard, you're getting a harder matchup in the next round unless you get the winner of Dortmund and PSV. If Napoli ends up beating Barcelona, then that's pretty easy. And between Atleti and Inter, I feel like that's not that hard for PSG either. But if they get Real Madrid, if they get City, if they get Arsenal, if they get Bayern, those are tough matchups. And maybe Inter too. I mean, maybe they're good. I don't really think so, but we'll see what Luis Enrique does with Mbappe then. Will he be, it's 1-1 in the 75th minute. I'm taking Mbappe out. No, he will not. He will not. He's not preparing for next season. He's just flexing. But anyway, Shadowbammed episode 21. Big surprise. Nobody came in today, but it's all good. Hopefully somebody comes back and listens to the episode. But if you don't, it's fine because always been shadow banned. Always been that way for us. But I will see y'all on the next one. I did miss doing this. Maybe I'll talk about the results from Champions League tomorrow. Oh, or maybe I'll wait for Europa League to be over. Maybe I'll do Friday. Maybe I'll do that because I got some French teams in Europa League. Anyway, talk to y'all later.